4-on-4 skating time for the first time tonight. Shots 18-13 in favor of Laredo. They have the 3-1 lead. They've led throughout. And now in front of the Rayz penalty box, Millette was saying something at Baird, and Baird opens up the penalty box. Millette is inside the Rayz box, and he's fighting with Baird. The American Bank Center has never seen this. Chris Millette was saying something to Jason Baird through the box, and Baird opened up the penalty box door so he could talk back to Millette, and then punches started flying, and right now, Millette, Baird, and the two linesmen are inside the Rayz penalty box. And the boo you hear is as Millette is being ushered off. Now he and Stazer are pushing and shoving. Everyone's going nuts. The Rayz are jumping off the bench. Here come Bucks off the bench. Everybody's going crazy. It's a yard sale. Blair Stazer was tied up with Millette. Stazer still has the full cage on. And now Vogel goes after the netminder. Vogel and Marvin are going to fight. This is the Rayz in the box. Vogel has the glove off of Marvin. Vogel went right across and wanted a piece of Marvin. Oh, Vogel throws two rights. Marvin comes back with two rights. The goalies are going after it. This is the Southeast Division the way it used to be. Vogel and Marvin are still tied up. Millette's going to get kicked out of this game. So many players are going to get kicked out of this game. Vogel and Marvin still tied up. How about this guy, Ron Vogel, going across the ice and challenging Marvin? And now Adam Powell's going to go at it with Neil Clark. The goalies are done, and here comes some heavyweights. Powell and Clark are squared up. They're dancing around. Powell has a hold of the jersey, then loses it. They're still skating around one another. Powell is laughing. This is his game. Oh, three big rights, then an uppercut. Clark doesn't know what he's in for. Powell another right. Clark misses with a right. They're locked up, and Powell, two big rights. He's got a hold of Clark. He's the stronger of the two. Powell has a hold of the jersey, goes down, then gets back up. They're wrestling, and down to the ice they go. When you think Corpus Christi versus Laredo, this is what you think of. Ron Vogel and Eric Marvin engaged in the first ever goaltender fight. Vogel's going to the locker room. I think his night is done. Marvin's going to the locker room. His night is done. Millette's been ushered off. Jason Baird's being taken off. Adam Powell and Neil Clark are also off. And now Baird wants a piece of Elliott as Baird's being ushered off. Baird wants a hold of someone. If he's going to get the gate right now, Baird's not going quietly. And it's taking all three officials to restrain it. And Baird's speaking the entire time at the Bucks bench. Hey folks, we still got half a hockey game to play. The roof has come off of the American Bank Center, and how Mark Lemelin is going to call this is anybody's guess. It's an absolute yard sale on the ice right now. And when you have back-to-back games between the top two teams in the Southern Conference, two teams that hate each other, two teams that are longtime rivals, this is what you get in game number 2. It all started when Chris Millette was lining up for a face-off next to Jason Baird, who had already been ushered into the penalty box as part of matching minors with Serge Dubé. So Millette is talking at Jason Baird, and Baird is yelling back, and Baird opens up the penalty box door to yell at Millette. And then I'm not sure who threw the first punch, but before you knew it, Millette and Baird were fighting literally inside the Rayz penalty box. The penalty box off-ice official had to run into the scorer's booth in fear of her life. She's all right. It's our good friend Sandy Bauckham, and she's fine, but she had to scurry out. I don't think that's on the job description of working the penalty box, is getting out of the way of fights. But then while they're fighting, Millette and Baird in the penalty box, then other people start going at it. But it was just pushing and shoving. When this really started to go crazy was as Millette was being ushered off. And he was in front of the Rays bench. And this is part of the quirky design of the American Bank Center, where the exit to the locker rooms are right next to the opposing benches. And as Millette's being ushered off to the locker room, he does so right in front of the Rays bench. And Blair Stazer starts jarring with Millette, and then those two start throwing punches. And then other Bucks players start jumping off and trying to get at the Rays. So Rays players are exiting the bench to fight. Neil Clark comes off the Laredo bench to fight. And before you know it, while everybody's tied up along the boards, Ron Vogel comes 200 feet across the ice, grabs Eric Marvin, the opposing netminder, by the face mask, rips it off, and the two goalies start fighting. And to see the expression of the crowds here at the American Bank Center, it was simply priceless. This is what they've been waiting for. This is what they've wanted to see when the Laredo Bucks and the Corpus Christi Rayz meet up with one another. 8:18 left in the second period. Bucks 3, Rays 1, and they're replaying Ron Vogel, who got the better of Eric Marvin in that fight, up on the Jumbotron, and much of this American Bank Center crowd is still standing. And meanwhile, probably the toughest job is going to fall on Mark Lemelin, trying to figure out what in the world to make of all of this. You had the matching minors against Baird and Dubé, and then a lot more is going to come. It's all coming at the 11:48 or 42 mark. While he works on it and tries to square everything up, we're going to go ahead and take a timeout and try and figure out just what has transpired here in recent moments at the American Bank Center. If you're just joining us, welcome to Fight Night at the ABC. The Bucks still lead at 3-1, 8:18 left in the second period. We'll be back on ESPN 1230.